Hello everyone, Tel-Rea here, and I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. Now in today's video, we're going to go through a lot of Star Wars Zero Company news that you may have missed. So I'm going to go through in no particular order, just a bunch of information that was shown at the panel, Zero Company at Star Wars Celebration. But before we get into it, if you would like to join the Discord or become a channel member, the links are in the description below. And if you enjoyed this video, this content, and all things Star Wars related, be sure to like and subscribe. And we'll see you in the video. Okay, like I said in the intro, it's not really going to be in any particular order. So first of all, it was revealed that it's set during the Clone Wars. This was not revealed at Star Wars Celebration, but I think it was on a Twitter post maybe or somewhere that when they revealed the cast of characters, it was set during the Clone Wars. So that's very good because I am a big fan of Clone Wars. It's my favorite era. It's my favorite time. I love the Republic and Separatists and all that jazz. So it's very good news for me. And then the next thing is that the game currently will release in 2026. We don't have a specific month. It's only the year. So it could be the beginning, end, or in the middle of 2026. We don't know. And it will also release on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S. So with all of that out of the way, we'll go a little bit more into the game. So in terms of the soundtracks will be composed by Gordy Haab, which you may know him from as he was the composer for both Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor, which, as you well know, the very, very well-received games, and I think he might have won awards for them, so we will be on to a very good soundtrack for this game, I am sure. So be sure to keep your headphones on whilst you're playing and don't turn down the music and sound effects because we might be in for a treat. So a little bit about the story. They haven't revealed too much about the story because the panel was more about what the characters and the planets that they might go to, but the story that we've been told so far is that you will lead as Hawks, one of the characters, the team against a shadow war. So not part of the Republic or the Separatist war, which is the main war, but it's a war beneath the war, and it's a shadow war against a corrupting force. And if left unchecked, everything would go wrong and they would take over. And that's all I've said about the story. It sounds very intriguing. A war beneath the war. They say in the trailer as well, like that this team is like the heroes that you don't know about because they're not celebrated or anything. So it's really, really cool, very underground stuff, and I'm very excited for it. I do like that they've kept a short string on the story because they can reveal that at a later time. Hopefully we'll get some more news in 2025. I'm sure we will, but sooner rather than later. Another thing they revealed is that the squad that you'll be using, there will be original characters, Star Wars characters, like the Clone Trooper, the Umbaran, but then you'll also have a mix of custom characters that you'll be able to customize to your liking. So it's not just limited to those this group of 4 or 5. You also include these fully customizable characters that you'll be able to create yourself. So that's very, very good news because that's really exciting. Being able to customize your own team makes it feel a bit more you, and you're a part of this universe and you're a part of the Clone Wars. So that's really, really cool. I really like that idea because on top of that, if you really, really wanted, you can go all out, a full team of Astromechs, which is awesome. So if you can do that, then you could probably you can do a bunch of different runs, like one run you a full team of Astromechs, then the next team a full team of Rodians, sorry. So cool stuff like that. They also mentioned that if you were to do that, then it might be easy in some parts of the story or whatever, but because you're all exactly the same species, or if you're all Astromechs, then it might deteriorate in some aspects of the game. So that's really, really cool. So it's a toss-up if you want to do that. I probably won't be doing that for my very first run through, but maybe we'll see in the future. So speaking of characters, so you'll have your fully customizable characters. Let's talk a little bit about the original Star Wars characters. So the first one is the Clone Trooper, and his name is Trick. His little background is that he has been with Hawks, the commander that you'll play. He's been with Hawks since the beginning, and he was also injured in the same disaster that cost Hawks his career, which is very interesting because they're with each other until the end, and they've stick together. So we'll see if they can keep their bond or if something horrible goes on in the story. The next is the Umbaran. So the Umbaran's sharpshooter is named Luco Bronc, who still hasn't forgiven the Republic for invading his homeworld. And as you know, the clone trooper used to be part of the Republic, so having the clone trooper and the Umbaran on the same team is going to cause a lot of tension. Same with the other members of the team, which is really, really intriguing. I'm really excited to try and like fix the bonds, make them actually like each other by the end of it, is a goal of mine. And then next up we have the Mandalorian, which is named Cly Kullervo, and she is one of the last surviving clan members of the ancient clan Verminoth. Verminoth is such a cool word, and Cly's character design is really, really cool. All Mandalorian designs are really, really cool. Mandalorians are just so cool to me anyway. So we have a clone trooper, we have an Umbaran, we have a Mandalorian, and one more is that we have a Jedi, a not even experienced Jedi. So we have a Padawan Jedi, and they are called Tel-Rea Vokoss, or Tel for short, who is a Padawan and is on a quest to finish her former master's final mission. She also has 2 lightsabers, which is very, very cool, and it looks like you can have 2 different colored lightsabers, which is awesome. And then finally, obviously, is Hawks, which is yourself, who is also fully customizable, but a little bit about them is that they are a disgraced former Republic officer, which goes in with the clone trooper because it's part of the disaster that cost Hawks a career, which I am very, very looking forward to learning more about. I'm assuming we'll learn that at the very beginning of the game, because we'll learn about these characters, or they'll hint it at the beginning, but then we'll learn as the game goes on, which would be a very cool way of telling it. And then next up is difficulty. So they do have difficulties where you can play it super easy if you're very new to strategy games. You can play it on a story mode essentially, and play it for the story, play it super easy, so you don't really have much of a challenge. But then they have the opposite end of this spectrum where it's super hard, and then they also include permadeath. So as a character dies, they won't be able to be played again. And with that, they have the option for limited ability to save your game as well. So you might get to a checkpoint, and then it might not be a checkpoint for a long road down the line. So it's a very, very costly game. I definitely will be doing a run where I'll play on the hardest mode with permadeath, limited ability to save your game as a challenge, which will be very, very fun. But I'll need to learn about the game first and get good at the game, I guess, before I could do that one. So you have your team, but you need a base of operations. Zero Company will have a base of operations called the Den, which is located on the Ring of Kafrene. And the Ring of Kafrene is also partly from Rogue One, which is very interesting because the Den actually looks really, really awesome. It looks very hidden, in the middle of nowhere. You won't really stumble across it. So it's a very, very well hidden area and a good base of operations. And I can't wait to go in there, upgrade some stuff, check out a lot of the areas in that place. And one of the areas that they did reveal was the galaxy map. The Den will have a galaxy map to plan your next mission, which they also mentioned that it's the biggest and most immersive map that they've ever put out in a game. They meaning Lucas Games, sorry. So this is the most ambitious galaxy map that they have ever worked on, which is very, very interesting, and I cannot wait to explore the galaxy as a whole through this game. And obviously, to go to and from the base, you have to have a starship, and the starship is, I originally thought it was called Caisson, like Cassian Andor, but it's actually called the Caisson, which is also piloted by a droid called Mevo, or M3VO, and apparently also at times the clone trooper Trick also pilots it, but M3VO or Mevo will be the pilot for the Caisson, and the Caisson looks awesome. It looks like the Ghost from Star Wars Rebels, which I'm a big fan of, so it's very, very cool design. I really like it, and they've done well with that. So you have a starship. Now we need to figure out where we want to go. There are a few planets that they mentioned that have been seen in other Star Wars media, like for example, they have planet Serolonis, which is in the game, which was originally developed for the Clone Wars, but it was first seen in the Bad Batch Season 2. They've also included the planet Vandor, which is in the game, which was seen from Solo, a Star Wars story movie. It also was briefly in Star Wars Hunters for one map. Another planet is Mapuzo, which is in the game, which was seen firstly in Obi-Wan Kenobi, the TV show or TV series. games. So you get to go there and check it out. And then there's also planet Anaxes in the game, which was seen from the Clone Wars TV show towards the end with the Bad Batch. So that's a lot of the planets that you can go to, which is very, very interesting. I cannot wait. And they also teased that there'll be more planets that are recognizable that you can go to. So I'm assuming obviously we'll be able to go to Tatooine and stuff. But they also mentioned, as well as planets, there'll be characters that will show up that we know well. So I'm assuming maybe we'll get hints of Count Dooku, maybe we'll get hints of Obi-Wan, or it'll be a little bit lower, like we'll see Cad Bane or something, which would be awesome. So I'm excited to see which cameos we get in the game, which is going to be awesome. And then one last thing that I want to mention about this before I start wrapping up the video is that you can improve the bonds of your team by sending them on missions together. This would help as it could ultimately decide their fate in the game. So the example they use is the Umbaran, who is against the Republic, and the Clone Trooper, who used to be on the Republic. Obviously, they're going to have tensions between themselves, and they're not going to be on the best of terms, but as the game progresses, they go on missions together, they create a bond, and they start to be a bit more friendly with each other, and because of this, that might save one of their lives, because the other one might save them, or stuff like that, which is really, really cool, and I cannot wait to see the different progressions in each of my saves. Like I'm gonna do one where I'm gonna try and keep everyone on a friendly basis, or I'm gonna do one where I'm gonna like, oh, he's not gonna go on any missions with this guy because he's actually not good friends, stuff like that. I cannot wait for this game, and I'm super excited. So let me know in the comments below if you are just as excited as I am. So there you go. There is a little bit about the game, which all of these points were taken from the Star Wars Zero Company panel from Star Wars Celebration. Quickly watched through it, noted down a bunch of stuff, and everything that I put down is just makes me more and more excited. I think about this game daily, and I probably will do until its launch. I'm super excited. I cannot wait for it. I do really like strategy games. I've got a lot of hours on Civ 6 and Divinity 2. I've also played a lot of RTS games like Age of Empires and Age of Mythology, so I am very excited to put this kind of gameplay, because I've not played much like Baldur's Gate 2 and Divinity 2 kind of strategy games, and because of this game I've picked up XCOM 2, so I'm going to be playing through that until the game comes out. And yeah, I'm so happy, I'm so excited, and I cannot wait. But this video has been going on for a while, so let me know in the comments below if you're as excited for it as I am. And yeah, if you would like to join the Discord or become a channel member, the links are in the description below. And if you enjoyed this video, this content, and all things Star Wars related, be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.